Hello, lovely people. So it's that time of month again. The end of the month when we do some reporting, or the beginning of the month as it happens, so we can get the metrics and analytics from the previous month. See if I can get my words out. I've been to the dentist today. Please excuse me. I'm lisping. Okay, so onwards and forwards into what we're looking at. Let me share my screen. So as you'll see on the screen, I'm showing my PowerPoint presentation. This gives you a better idea of what I'm doing across all my sites. If any of you want this template, please, give me a shout in the description below and I'll make it available to you as well. So let's jump straight in. So let me give you some of the context of what I've done this month and what I've changed in order to see how I'm moving forward. But just before I do jump into that, let me give you a quick caveat. I work 9 to 5, very much like probably a lot of people who watch my channel. Okay, I'm tied up teaching Monday and Friday and sometimes through the week. And then my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm tied up with clients. One big client mainly, and then a handful of small ones. So my week is full and busy. All of this that I show you is done in my spare time, evenings and weekends. But if you want to get from a full-time job to a passive income, you have to make a start. Very much like Carl Broadbent mentioned in the interview we just recently had. I will put a link in the description above or put a card above. But it is a case you've got to push the needle. You've got to push the hours if you want to transition from one to the other or see the extra bit of effort, the rewards for the effort you're putting in. Okay, back into the video presentation. Right, so here we are. So some of the things that have changed this month is I've removed Cert Robot and I've started using my SEMrush account for all the reporting, only because SEMrush I've been using for approximately 10 years. Love the tool. I've always been an advocate of it. It's great for keyword research, but likewise it does the organic traffic. It looks at the analysis of many different things like gap analysis and also then for the backlinks. So for me, I'm quite familiar to the tool, and weighing and measuring up, I decided what's the point of paying for something that I can get it already in an existing package. Cert Robot is a fantastic package. If you're looking for something cheap and affordable to start with, Cert Robot is your boy. Sorry, lisping already with the teeth. It's a great tool, and it's ideal for those starting out who don't want a big budget, but you want to analyze what keywords are slowly moving forwards to page one and bringing more traffic. Likewise, the other reason I sort of knocked on the head, I put in a video. Go check that out. I'll put a link in the description for that one as well. The next bit of news I got is I have stopped using my content writers. I use 2 at the moment. I've stopped using those and I'm going purely AI for the moment. Okay, this is like an A/B split test. And yes, whilst I want to earn money from my affiliate sites, I also want to make sure that I can see the benefit of using these sort of tools that are out there. So the only way to do that is like an A/B split, is stop one thing so I know it's purely all AI content from this point on. Now, that doesn't mean to say that's a cheat or an easy win. It's not. What I'm already finding within my particular niche, the gardening niche, is it's heavy going. It's hard going to find the right type of information. But the AI content has been fantastic for helping me. Okay, so it's a collaborative approach by all accounts, not a replacement, and I think that's a key ingredient. Over the forthcoming months, I'm going to trial loads. At the moment, I'm working with Article Forge and Jarvis, but I'm sure like there's so many of them out there, it's seeing which ones really favor the niches I'm in at the moment. The next part is I'm also ramping up my YouTube content. I'm trying to do a minimum of 2 videos a week, just so that I'm demonstrating my knowledge, everything that's been accumulated over the last 25 years. And I'm well known within the industry for digital marketing, but I have a good deep knowledge in things like SEO. Have been doing that for 8 years and doing it on multiple sites and for multiple clients. But likewise, things like affiliate marketing, I really want to get my teeth into as well. So I'm a much more rounded approach. I also will be reporting on 4 sites now, as opposed to originally just 1. I know it's grown quite quickly, but the benefit of this is 2 of those I will reveal the domain names. Okay, I'm happy to do that because, as it says there, I want to build up a case study and I want to do this over the shoulder approach. There will be lots of videos coming on that at the moment. Spicesplate.com is one of those. The Insight Before Action is the other one. During July, as I said, I work at 9 to 5. You need to push the needle, and the only way you're going to do that is your evenings and weekends if you want to transition or you want to improve your current situation. I've managed to do 80 blogs, and it's not a numbers game, but it gives you an idea of what's possible if you push yourself. Okay, so across 3 of the sites, I've managed to do 80 blogs in total. And I'm also going to look at going forward, ramping up my Ezoic integration, which allows me for more ad placement to earn some revenue from this. And we'll discuss that more when we get to the money point of this video. So the first one, as I said, is my gardening niche. This is my biggest one so far. I don't think it'll be the biggest earner. One of my other websites, I believe, will be, and we'll talk about that in the health niche shortly. But again, being as transparent as I can be, here's the numbers. So 779 people visited it during July 2021, and of that I earned a spectacular total of $1.35. But that was always my get-go. I didn't want to penalize the site, as it were, by too many adverts. I wanted to grow the audience, keep it quite light with the adverts as it stands at the moment, and let the content build up over time. Once I'd seen a fair number of audience coming in, and yeah, I'm kind of happy, just sub 800, I'm going to start then ramping up the ads to see what a difference it makes to the bottom line. Everything's about a test. Over time, I'll win it, but in the short term, you've got to trial different things to see what works. So I've also listed here some of my goals, which, these will dynamically change, as all goals should, but they'll give me something to strive towards. So I want this site to become an authority site by the end of next year, 2022. Now that sounds quite ambitious, considering we're only 4 months into this project. But what I've already established through my work is that there are so many gaps in the market in this one particular niche, even to well-established websites out there, which came as a surprise to me. Hence the reason using the AI tools has really helped me fill in some of that missing criteria, because it can search the internet far quicker and easier than I can. So I know that if I put on board some of the videos and the things that are definitely missing out there, then I'll see that grow it. And already looking at some of the keywords and analytics, the things I'm ranking for month by month, it's interesting to see the approach I've taken. And I will reveal this in time, but I need to get some ahead of the curve, as it were, because I know as soon as some people see this, they'll think, oh, I'll have a piece of that, because it is missing from the internet. So I need to give it time to bed in and become number one in that industry. Also, the other flip side of that is, I know from a monetary sort of point of view, this is a seasonal site. It really succeeds well during the months of April and May, and possibly a little bit of June. But the rest of the year, it plateaus, okay? And we'll see that later on when I talk about the EPMV, and I can just see how that's come right down. So it means all the work I'm putting in could be quite fruitlessly pointless, but I know it's an investment for when it does kick in with the audience. I expect it not just to climb, I expect it to skyrocket. So the other side of that coin, looking at, as you should with any intent of a website, is how do I monetize it? I know that there is a great opportunity to make this a lead generation site and sell those leads. So that's something I'm going to explore in time. I also then need to establish more main pillar postings that are prior to the season that will be coming for next year. I've got quite a few of those to write. That's, again, the evolution of the site that's given me the opportunity to realize what's missing on the internet, and I can write those out. But it's quite a climb. It's quite a mountain to climb by all accounts. Again, being realistic and seeing what I've already got and the sort of my working ethics, I've also then set literally how many sort of posts will I realistically get done. So I'm aiming to do 35 posts a month. So that would accumulate to 400 posts being on there by the end of this year. So it gives me another 5 months, strictly speaking, to achieve that number. It's a bit of a push, because I think that would bring me in around about the 350. But you know what? You've got to set goals high, and then even if I come slightly under it, I know I'll be happy. And that's kind of the approach I'm taking. The next slide then is obviously showing, transparency, the level of content that's gone in there, how much work I've put in since last month. An additional 71,000 keywords words have been written and added in there. That's been spread across 25 posts, 12 informational guides, and 3 buyer's guides. Now, the buyer's guides, I think I mentioned this in the previous video, I'm not really happy with them, to be honest. They're becoming tombstones, and I kind of think maybe that's the approach, maybe it's not. I don't really know, but I wouldn't enjoy reading them. So I kind of think they will need to be revisited in time, depending on what the numbers say. But the informational guides, I know, are where I really need to hone down at the moment. This is the void that is massively missing on the internet at the moment. But writing each one of those is an epic undertaking. It could take me anywhere from 2.5 hours to a full day just to write one, depending on literally how much research I can do and how much the AI content will help me as well. And then it's a combination of the two to write them quite nicely within a set format. Again, it's a challenge. I will probably do a video of that in time to show you the benefits of these tools, but really this particular niche, how I'm slogging away. The other thing I did as well, and I just did it on this previous weekend, is I redesigned the homepage. There was several factors for this. I was talking to one of my friends who's in the affiliate arena and happily share our domains with each other just to get some insight. And he hated my homepage, which by all accounts, fine. We're all entitled to an opinion. So I simplified it, more so for the user experience, the UX, and it increased the speed slightly. And that'd be interesting to see how over a couple of days, maybe a week, Ezoic will cache that, and it'll be interesting to see. It was a decent speed on there, but he's kind of right. It probably was a bit confusing, so I've simplified it. The other thing I've done then is obviously linked it then to Ezoic's Leap, which will initiate and review it more for speed. I'm still not really understanding all about Leap, and I'm going through the process with them at the moment, but hopefully I'll record something on that and we can see the outcome of that by the end of this month, the end of August. Placement of ads, then I went methodically through the main informational guides and the informational pages. I went through those for a full day, and it took me a full day working and placing through Ezoic's little Chrome extension to see the difference. But I was watching loads of other YouTube videos out there to give me a fair idea of how to approach this and get the best out of it. So I'm sort of at the mindset now, I want to try and ramp up the earning potential, even though I know the EPMV is right down, and it is, you'll see that later on. It's in the toilet. But that's fine. I just want to make sure it's in the best place it can be for when the audience do want to engage. Okay, and then the other thing that came along quite comfortably in July was a couple of issues on Search Console. So I had to fix those as well, make sure that the site is nice and healthy. So things to do for maybe this month or the month coming up is add a few more affiliate links into those buyer's guides, make them a bit more on point, as it were. Okay, won't bore you too much of that. I've blanked out the main information because that will give you an idea of those parts that are missing from the internet. I do use ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, on my WordPress installation, and I do like to think that from a content writer's point of view, when they're going in the back end, they can easily orientate themselves. Part of just good housekeeping. The next slide then is obviously just give you an idea of where we are in relation to last month. So picking out the comparison on the traffic and the clicks, the impressions and clicks from Search Console. Yeah, there's a moderate increase, as you can see, 29,500 to 25. Excuse me. And the clicks themselves went up minor, 337 to 326. And that I'm quite happy with, because I know actually the season is coming to an end. So seeing it just moderately increase is good. It just means there's a reasonable level of engagement. It's seeing how I can try and improve on that month in, month out. It's the level of content that goes in there will make that big difference. I also double check then, make sure I do my due diligence. I check then from an indexation point of view, my 94 posts are all indexed, which is great because I don't want anybody else to steal this content and index it before me. The informational articles, there's about 32 of them that need to be there in total. 21 of them are currently done and all indexed. And again, with the buyer's guides, I've got quite a few of these to write. I don't really enjoy writing them, to be, if I'm absolutely honest, but they're needed in order to make some sales on the site. There's 5 there at the moment, and 5 of those are indexed. And obviously, as it said, I rectified a couple of Search Console issues there. Just taking a very basic screen grab then from SEMrush, you can see that I now rank for 255 keywords. Big jump up, 53%. Excuse me, dentist. 255 keywords. There's a 53% increase in that. But for terms that, you know, I write those articles a couple of months ago, and now I'm starting to see the due diligence, because they are written for the season. So they are written for something that happens in April, something happens in June, and so on. So they're really only going to be relevant one time of the year. Maybe that's a smart approach, maybe it's not. I don't know, time will tell. But it's always good to trial, because it might be a smart thing, and you know what? Other people aren't really doing it. It's had a nice, comfortable knock-on effect to the traffic, albeit very small. But you know what? It'll be interesting to see how this goes in, you know, 6 and 12 months' time. And the last part then is looking at the monies, because obviously this is the only site that I've monetized so far. And it's good to have, I included this slide purely because I could see the EPMV coming down and the earnings slightly, you know, up and down, roller coaster ride, but the visitors going up. So yes, it's that yin and yang effect, unfortunately for me. It's not a direct correlation. But I'm happy that as I build this over the next couple of months, you'll have a quick glimpse into seeing the numbers increase, which is always heartening. And then hopefully when it does get round to, you know, the March, the April and the May time, then it'll be interesting to see real numbers, what that'll do to the PMV. I don't know. It's an experiment. You know, I could be wasting my whole amount of time. I hope not. Or it could be very much like Tom Cruise within Jerry Maguire, show me the money. And hopefully that's what I'll be seeing then. And all that due diligence will be worth it. You've got to believe in something, people. Believe in something. Okay, so I'm believing in my gardening niche site. Okay, so that's site 1 done and dusted. Site 2 is transparent. Please do click on there and look at it. It's something quite dear to my heart. It took me many years to come up with a website where I wanted to just pour my knowledge out, and it's called Insight Before Action. So like everything, you need a strategy for yourself to be successful. It's pretty much what all affiliate marketing is knowing what you're doing before you do it in order to get a result you're after. So I came up with the title Insight Before Action, IBA for short. Okay, that's a little rhyme and reason. I have done a video purely on that as well. Now this one is only in month 3. Or when I class them as what month they're at, that's out of the Google sandbox, and I can see they're starting to rank for something. Okay, and I think a lot of affiliate marketers have already alluded to this. Google sandbox is anywhere between 8 and 12 months. I can attest to it. It is. So I'm in month 3 now. As you can see there, I have just literally started as of this weekend and applied to Ezoic to get this one monetized. I am conscious of how many ads I put in there, because I don't want it to be consumed by that it's purely an informational site and nothing else. It's quite personal to me in some senses, because it's a demonstration of my knowledge, and I do want to be known for it. There is a direct competitor for me in this one, which is Dr. Dave Chaffrey, which is smartinsights.com. So therefore, in time, it will become a membership program and probably sell some digital course products on there, like courses or ebooks, which, you know, the areas I actually teach on, because this is really where it harks back to, those are things I can monetize. Ideally, I'm going to look to do 100 posts by the end of this year. So that means at least 15 posts per month being added to it. So it's slow and steady wins the race. I'm not in a rush for this one, because some of those posts are very unique. There's not an awful lot of information on the internet for that because of what I teach. But then I've got to be very careful is that they do serve the diplomas and the apprenticeships that I teach. So you can't put too much information out there is the caveat I'm saying. Looking at the content that's gone in there, it's somewhere around the 18,000 words I've added across 21 posts in total. The total amount of the published words on there is 108,000. There are 61 posts on there in total. So, you know, I did a reasonable number of posts this month on it. Tasks to do. I do need to redesign the home page. And I'm going to use something that some people do not like, but I've kind of believe in page builders, because I've got Astra as a theme and page builder being Elementor. I'm going to use Elementor. Personally, I think good hosting, and I've always been with SiteGround, I'll put the link in the description. I talk the talk and I walk the walk. So for me, if listening to other people and they say, oh yeah, Elementor is too bloaty and it slows your site down. Yes, it does, but I'm not looking for the top end. I'm looking for it to be comfortable on there, because I actually know the content that's going on this website isn't in abundance on the internet. So it'll comfortably get to page 1, but whereabouts on page 1, time will tell. And yeah, I can always revisit. But I kind of like Elementor, and having used it for a number of clients, and my main client, they get decent traffic off it and it doesn't impede their speed in any way, shape or form. So I think it depends on how you use the tool, is the rhyme and reason behind that. So I'm going to redesign the homepage in time. As I mentioned, I'm going to link it to Ezoic, but I'm going to limit the amount of ads and maybe to what particular pages they actually show up, because I don't want it to detract from the real purpose of what this site is about. And then I'm going to index additional content, which is not currently indexed for, such as the training materials on there, the templates, and an ebook that I've written as well. So looking at some of the comparisons, there's nothing really to shout about at the moment. If anything, it's gone down dramatically, purely because I haven't given it any love for the last couple of months. It's only last month I actually did some effort on it. It's trying to find a working schedule for doing that, and that's why I'm using a great tool called Notion. I'll put the link in the description below, and that's helping me organize myself and make myself a little bit more productive. You work by day, you come home in the evening, you do the necessaries, you sit down and think, right, what am I doing now for the next hour or two? So I need something that methodically keeps me on that path. Notion is the tool I'm using for it. Great tool. It's free. It is a freemium, but it's free the way I use it. Of those 61 posts, they're all indexed. That's something always to be mindful of from an SEO perspective. You create the content, you put it out there, you index it, and unless it's been crawled by the spiders and the bots for the search engines, it doesn't make a difference. If it's not been indexed, you're needlessly creating content that's never going to be found. Or it will in time, but it'll organically take a long time to get there. You can index things straight away, okay? That's through Search Console. Use the URL inspector, put it in there, click it and send it. And it's basically a flag wave to Google that says, over here, I've got something new. Please index this and add this onto my my site for things to be crawled and indexed. Okay. The last part then, being realistic from the SEMrush point of view, you can see the dates are in there, so I'm not hiding anything. I currently rank for 10 keywords. I've gone down because, as I said, I haven't done much, and 10 is all there. So knowing this is only monthly, it's going to take months before I get anywhere. Slow and steady, I'm just going to keep pumping stuff on there, but it's not my main focus for the moment. Okay. Website number 3. Website number 3 is a wonderful one I bought off Carl Broadbent. I'll put his details in the description below. Great guy. Check out the interview. There will be a link to that as well. I will also be doing a video on the intent on this one, because that will define how I start building that when I haven't started. Again, I'll link it up to the Ezoic platform. It is therefore at month 1. It's ground zero, ladies and gentlemen. It needs to go from nothing, to something. I just haven't started. Okay. It's an informational site. It will have some ads on there, but obviously because the intent will be around the growing medicinal and cooking, it'll be image heavy as well. So I don't really want them to compete too much. So how I do that, I don't know. And again, that's something that will be part of a social experiment. We'll just have to find out as we go along. I will document the whole journey, because that will be done through a video series, a sort of fly on the wall over my shoulder. And then if I make mistakes, you know what? They're real world, real mistakes, and we live and we learn from them. That's the beauty of what we do. So there's currently 10 posts on there at the moment. I'm hoping by the end of 2021, I'm going to get that up to 50. So that means steadily doing 10 posts per month. I think it'll be a little chaotic because I've got a lot of pre-work to do, strategizing, keyword research, understanding the intent, and then once I've got that, then I think we'll comfortably get through 10 or more per month thereafter. So there's not an awful lot to talk about at the moment. It's really just taking stock of the due diligence of what Carl did to date. So there's 10 posts on there, 9,750 words. So you almost hit that perfect 1,000 words per article. And we shouldn't be striving to that, but it seems to be a psychological thing that we all sort of fall into that trap and wish to tick the box. Tasks to do, basic design to the homepage, because I've stripped it out. If you watch another video, I'll put the card in there for that. I've literally cleansed the website, kept the content, but cleansed it to get the speed, make sure it's right, and now start building up from ground zero. As I mentioned, I need to define the intent and do some keyword research and therefore work out the silos. And I'm also going to then send over to Fiverr logo creation, literally building it from scratch. So looking at the Search Console, again, I haven't done any of the Google assets. That's a video to come. Hence the reason it says nothing here, because there isn't, but there will be by next month. I'll make sure the tracking code's in there so we can start analyzing some of the data moving forward, because that gives us a clear indication of whether we're improving or not. I know it's, therefore, you might be asking the question, how do I know the posts are indexed? Obviously, I use the site parameter to check it out on the internet. Well worth learning about that, because it's another way of double checking things. And then quickly running it through SEMrush, it does currently rank for 20 keywords. It's losing a few there, but I'm not too worried about that. 20 is neither here nor there. We need to get it ranking for some sizable numbers over time. That's website number 3. Website number 4 is in the health niche. Now, this one took me a little while to discover, and I feel quite confident that this could be a really good money earner in time. Now, I won't be revealing what it is yet, because it's a very competitive niche. It's at ground zero, number 1. I will be putting it on eSoic. It will be earning its money through ads and affiliate partner programs in time as well, but that will be quite some time down the road. I have left part of the domain visible because it's an extension of .tips. Again, it's a social experiment. You know, we all love to try and get the .coms. Or .orgs, whatever it may be, or whatever's in your respective country, like .co.uk. But .tips are quite easy, quite cheap to buy, and I quite like them as well. And again, it's another sort of social experiment, because there's always an underlying SEO person inside me. It's a case of, I don't think it bloody makes a difference. I think at the end of the day, once you've got the intent and you've got good content on there and you're engaging and getting organic traffic, who cares what the extension is on a domain name? Time will tell. But I'm kind of seeing it already on the internet. If you search for any sort of particular topic and look at the extensions, you'll realize it's not all .coms any longer. It's changing. It's nice to have, but it's not essential. Okay. Again, yes, as I said, I'd like to get 450 posts by the end of the year on that. So that means 35 posts. That's a big ask per month, but not impossible, because it's something that's already aligned to what I'm doing at the moment. So it's kind of knowing that I could be doing this around the existing work I'm already doing. So it just makes sense to double win, double down, as it were, and have a double win from it by all accounts. So looking at the volume of keywords on there, literally I started this month and I managed to do 41,000 keywords on there, spread across 35 articles. As I said, I'm going to limit the amount of ads to certain pages, because I'm conscious that when I do become more about the affiliate partners, I don't want to be detracted too much by the adverts. So I take a very steady approach to it. That's what I think is the best way of doing it. Tasks to do now for the next month is add in some of the videos. There is a plethora of good videos already out on YouTube. It's not something I'm going to create for this one. My IBA is where I'm putting my time and energy into. And I might begin a little bit of backlinking as well. Link building, to give it a bit of context and help it spur it forward, because I believe that this will take quite some time to rank. Already having done some of the intentional keyword research, I've already identified the potential of 12,000 posts to write. Yes, 12,000 posts. So yes, there's a long road to travel, but that's where I already know this could be a very good website, an affiliate website especially. Right, so looking at the data, it's already in. Yes, it's slowly already gained some quick traffic within 1 month, gone from 29 to 70 impressions. No clicks, but that's fine, no problem. It's kind of saying that it's in the right arena that I'm doing it. The 10 posts are there, they've been indexed, and I've checked again, that's with yes, I know I did 35 posts, but 10 of them are already indexed. I need to do my due diligence around Google Analytics and Search Console. Haven't finished them off, not 100% the way they need to be done. That will be done this month as well. And then looking at it through SEMrush, you can see I've marked out the domain name purposely. It's only ranking for 3 keywords, so that's kind of irrelevant. But I'm setting this benchmark here, so month on month you can see the style of my my videos recording each of these websites, and I'll run through them a little bit quicker as well. And you can see, oh right, there's the genuine numbers, there's genuine numbers, and you can compare easy enough, so you know that, you know, I'm doing everything genuinely as much as possible. So into the money, I hear you say, show me the money. Right, okay, so this is where we are with the money. May, June and July, this is on the Gardening Niche site, the only one that's earning any revenue at the moment. And you can see the income that is generated so far, 96 cents, $1.98 and $1.31. Nothing to write home about. Fine, I totally agree with that. And the expenditure has been going up, but the reason I'm doing it here across all 4 is because my expenditure, I take a slightly different approach. I put in there all my domains and my hosting, what it physically costs me. I want to make sure that you, my target audience, say, right, I've got a budget, what am I working with? And I'm kind of working around the philosophy of $250 a month is my budget. And I'm sure anybody who wants to move the needle can spend 250 and more besides. But again, if I start from a humble place, you can build your own entity as and how you wish. So that takes into account all the costs of my domains and my hosting, which is SiteGround. Productivity tools, so like Microsoft, which is my Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Images, which I use Dreamtimes for, so I pay for my images, and any other sort of bits and bobs as well, such as like the content writing tools. At the moment I'm paying for Jarvis, which is in the boss mode, Quillbot, which I use to respin some of the content, and Article Forge, which I'm trialing as well. Kind of liking it, but some of the quality of the articles have come back, not really been impressed. It's taken me a long time to play with them to get them into some sort of shape, but trialing them, let's see. And there's a raft of these AI tools which I'm going to work through over the next couple of months. So breaking it down for the month, you can see the Gardening Niche, it's down on the EPMV, which doesn't surprise me. It is what it is at the end of the day, because we're out of season. But I'm going to keep plugging away, because I believe that when it comes to March, April, May next year, then I will be pleasantly surprised and overwhelmed by a high EPMV. Anyway, right, so that comes to the last bit. What breaking news do I have? Well, it's kind of obvious. If you're watching this, you're already on YouTube. But I just wanted to shout about it, because I've been meaning to do YouTube for a long time, a long time. And only now I'm really getting around to it. So there's my channel. I've got a lot of things to do. It may look a little chaotic, but there is a rhyme and reason behind it. I do talk about SEO. I talk about digital marketing. I talk about affiliate marketing. I talk about productivity tools and personal and professional development. It's because it's the giddy mix of everything that I teach and I'm qualified in, and therefore it'll build up over time and it'll make sense. You'll see these individual playlists filling out respectively, and then you'll see they're all connected, because it's all built under the premise of digital marketing. To do anything here, you have to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur requires digital marketing experience, because all of us look and search for everything on one of these days, and if you've not found, then at the end of the day you're not going to sell your product or your services. So for me, there's lots to do. I do need to define the cover image a little bit more at the top. Not quite happy with that, but that will come in time. Okay, and ultimately I'm trying to do 2 videos per week, so slow and steady play to the algorithms, unfortunately. And I will also be shouting out to great channels and individuals. I've done a couple of interviews already, the likes of Alex Cooper, Nigel T. Packer, Tony Dowling and Carl Broadbent. I've got loads more lined up over the next coming months, so that will, you know, any insight that they can share with me and vice versa, I can share with you. Great, because collaboration is the key. The more we collaborate, the more we learn, and therefore we can move the needle forward and benefit ourselves. We'll know more tomorrow than we did today. That's the approach I'm taking. And that's it. That's it for the income report and affiliate reporting for July 2021. Hopefully you've liked the style of these videos. I'm trying to make them slightly different to what I see everyone else doing, but there's similar parts to it as well. And likewise, if you want to, give it a like and click the notifications, subscribe and all that housekeeping, then hopefully I can rank a little bit better in your feed, get noticed, and if you're finding it of value, give me a shout. Likewise, if you've got a comment or a question you want to put it below. I will read it and I'll come back to you. Well, that's it for now. My name's Andy Woolley. I hope you love the channel. I hope you like the idea of insight before action as well. And I'll see you in the next video.